Welcome back to the channel. Before I talk to you about how to find scrap yards near you, let me first give an overview of the market we are speaking about. First things first, a junk scrap metal yard buys and sells scrap metal for cash. Okay, very simple to understand. Now, junk yards make billions of dollars every year in the United States and even more overseas. Creating new metals from scrap is much cheaper than extracting from the earth. And you can find them, you can actually search and find a scrap metal yard near you no matter where you live. They're just everywhere. Now, how do scrap yards really work? Now, local scrap yards collect, sort, and then sell to regional or global refiners. And the refiner will buy at a higher price if the metal recycler collects enough smaller quantities to sell on a single large amount. Here is a list of scrap metal items junk yards really buy. You have aluminum, you have brass, bronze, copper, iron, you have tin, you have silver, stainless steel, and more. Okay, and scrap metal places near you might specialize in salvage auto parts, for example, recycling yards, cash for used junk cars, wrecking yards that smash and compact. You have gold scrap, you have washer and dryer scrap metal, including other appliances. So you have a diversity of players in this industry, okay? And some places will pay more for dryer scrap value than a place that buy cars and auto parts. Okay, it's very important. So you want to call your local scrap metal yards to see if they will recycle your items before you drive over or just borrow a truck. Okay, you will not be scrapping metal for a living. Scrapping is a good side hustle since there's always a need for scrap metal recycling. And the thing here is you will see that there is no shortage of scrap metal buyers near you when you search Google. Okay, one thing I want to say here is that it is a profitable business, but it's not going away real soon. Okay, but the thing is that you want to think about how to actually play your game better so you can make a living out of it. It is totally possible, but it requires a little bit of preparation, and this is what this video is going to talk to you about. Okay, how do you make money? How do you make money? First of all, how do you find scrap yards near you? And how do you make money from the whole process? Step number one, I want you to know the value of scrap. What are we talking about here? What are scrap metal prices per pound today? Because the thing is, there are prices per pound every day. So you need to know the estimated price before you waste too much time collecting scrap metal for a living or extra money. Okay, and the thing here is that it's important to know that commodity prices fluctuate daily, and each junk yard buying price may slightly vary. Okay, you have an interesting website called iScrap that provides current scrap metal prices per pound as a reference. Okay, and the thing is that when you have junk yards, they are trying to make sure that they buy low and sell high. That's what it is. You know, they are a business to make money. Okay, and so they have to bid low enough to insulate them from the volatile prices of metal before they sell to the refiner. Okay, so though some commodities are priced in tonnage, it's unlikely that you will be bringing 2,000 pounds of any metal to your local junkyard, right? You will not, because you're just an individual. You're not a business. You will only bring a ton of metal if you are scrapping metal for a living and collecting from several locations. Okay, so the going price for it. Long story short, the going price for scrap metal will change daily. Okay, now what scrap metal is worth the most money? You need to know where to zero in on, what to zero in on. Okay, the best places to find the most profitable metal items to scrap will be in your garage, in your kitchen, and outdoors. Those are the three places where you actually can find something of value. This trifecta. Remember this trifecta: garage, kitchen, and outdoors. Your garage will have old tools, your kitchen will have old appliances to recycle, and your outside will have furniture like patio furniture or metal ornamentals. So the scrap metal worth the most money is copper. So copper is the best metal to scrap because nearly all junkyards accept it. Okay, and mined copper is much more expensive to produce than recycled copper. So the best things to scrap for copper are plumbing pipes, motors, circuits, AC parts, Christmas lights wiring, and power cords. You also have brass. So brass is one of the highest paying recyclable metals and quite heavy. So creating brass from zinc and copper is not the most efficient use of those resources. It's much more economical to recycle brass. And the best thing to scrap for brass are musical instruments, bolts, nuts, jewelry, bathroom and light fixtures, rails, keys, and more. You have aluminum, can be recycled an unlimited number of times while maintaining the quality of the metal. Okay, so no surprise that soda cans are the most recycled aluminum items worldwide. You have steel, and they have stainless steel also. So steel is not the highest paying metal, but it's easy to find and usually weighs more than many metals. Okay, and then you have stainless steel also. The second thing I want you to do here is to find what to buy. See, when we talk about you making money from this business, you got to be really clear about what you want to buy. So find the best scrap metal items for money. Okay. Now, scrap metal collection is turning junk into treasure, right? That's what it means. Do you have old tools in your basement? Do you have an old refrigerator that doesn't work? Because if you have a junk freezer in your garage, you can even recycle old or broken Christmas lights. Okay, every December, you may have several strings of lights that stop working for the holidays. So your nearest scrap metal yard will reuse the copper wiring inside the string. Okay, so the best scrap metal items are appliances. I'm speaking about fridge, freezer, dishwasher, kitchen range, stovetop, microwaves, toaster ovens, air conditioning units, AC units, heaters, blenders, and similar. Okay, and it's most practical to recycle non-working units. People will pay you much more to recycle a working refrigerator for cash. You have electronics, desktop computers, laptops, computer or television monitors. Okay, your vehicle, work yards nearby love buying cars, trucks, boats, airplane parts, scooters, motorcycles, bicycles, and other forms of transportation. Wiring, copper wiring, power cords, electrical wiring of any type, industrial equipment. You have building material, pipes, drains, all metal used to build your house or building. Fixtures also really great. You have metal light fixtures, indoor and outdoor, doors, aluminum and metal doors, frames, door handles, and doorknobs, and miscellaneous materials. Okay, here I'm speaking about tools, screws, bolts, nuts, and similar. Okay, now here are the best places. So I just gave you actually the best scrap metal items for money. Now here are the best places to find scrap metal. You have construction and remodeling sites, hospitals and senior assisted living centers, shooting ranges, okay, because the discarded brass shells can be sold and recycled. You have electronic repair stores. You have farms. You have golf courses. You have garages and sheds. You have railroad scraps. You have dumpsters. You have garbage day. You know, if you drive around the night before garbage day, you can actually find a lot of scrap metal to pick up. Okay, you have to understand, garbage day is 6 days a week, so that provides you a lot of opportunities to hustle, really, if you think about it. You have community cleanup days. This could be a good opportunity also. You also have selling free stuff from Craigslist. This is kind of cool also. Let me quickly talk to you about how to sort scrap metal. You need to sort scrap metal. Either you do it yourself or you have somebody else do it for you, but you have to really do it. Okay, there are many ways to understand how to find scrap metal in your town. You need to learn how to sort scrap metal. Now, your local scrap yard will try to pay you less than what your metal scrap is worth. So you need to bundle and categorize your materials before you arrive for the most money. Okay, try to avoid selling mixed scrap metal. So scrap yards will pay you more money per pound if you take the unit apart, clean, and sort the metal. Clean lingo means what? Removing non-metal materials from metal scrap. Okay, it is something you have to do if you want to make more money. For example, you want to take the glass out of the aluminum frame. Okay, you want to remove the plastic and rubber from an old refrigerator and freezer. Okay, and so how do you actually identify scrap metal types? Well, you need to learn how to sort scrap metal into bins or boxes to get paid the most money per pound from your nearby scrap yard. Okay, so you need to identify scrap metal types. We have the ferrous metals, so you want to stick to a magnet because ferrous metals include steel and iron. Non-ferrous metals, so do not stick to a magnet. Those include aluminum, bronze, copper, gold, steel, etc. So, and non-ferrous scrap metal prices tend to be more valuable when buying and selling versus ferrous prices. Okay, so those are really important things that you need to know. And so what you want to do here is that you want to get a handheld magnet to sort between those two categories of products. I'm speaking about ferrous and non-ferrous. Okay, and it's very simple. If the magnet pulls the metal, then put it in the ferrous metals box. Even a magnet from your fridge will work. Okay, you want to sort scrap metal into stripped apart and dirty metal that you did not pull apart. If you pull the copper out of the Christmas lights, then it's considered clean. If you decide it takes too much time, then put it in the dirty pile. And mixed scrap metal prices will be lower than clean and sorted piles, as I just said before. There will be more transparency and accuracy when the yard provides a quote for you. Okay, so scrap metal prices per pound will differ between number one, copper, and number two, copper. So number one, copper doesn't have any paint or brass attached. If it's clean, then 99% of the weight is honestly copper. Number two, copper has 96 or more weight of copper that has paint and other materials, other metals attached. So the best scrap prices are paid for clean metal. So really think about that. Next thing I want you to do is to sort locally. See, when we talk about scrap yards, the whole thing is, how do you find scrap yards near you, right? It's all about geography. So it's important to find the type of scrap yard near you. Now, some yards specialize and pay more for a particular junk. Now, here is a list of what we believe. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list, but it gives you a pretty clear idea of what you can expect. Okay, when we speak about the different types of scrapyard places. So you have car scrapyards. So many offer free towing and cash for junk cars on the spot. You have auto dismantlers. So the yard will separate the parts for the car and resell auto parts. They tend to get pickup. They tend to get the pick and pull scavengers. You have scrap batteries, so recycle here all types of batteries from car to commercial batteries. Scrap metals will buy car batteries to recycle the lead. Okay, you have used reclaimer lumber yards, so they will source barn wood and beams and siding, doors, furniture, and more. You have used truck parts, so they can collect an extensive inventory of domestic and foreign auto parts for people to pick and pull. You have military vehicles, so you may even find an old tank that was scrapped. You have forklift junkyard. So this is a great place to find old parts for various brands. You have motorhome scrapyard. They specialize actually in RV wrecking and selling parts specifically designed for motorhomes. You have computer scrap buyers. Old computers contain expensive metals like copper, aluminum, and gold. So the yard, basically what they will do is they will specialize in breaking down the computer and components from ferrous to non-ferrous. You have wire scrapyard. So this is kind of cool. You have camper scrapyard. So old camper don't sell for much, but it's better than nothing, right? Who knows? You have used tires salvage. So many states require a license for recycling and disposal. So tires will be recycled into mulch, tennis surfaces, grocery bags, and more. You have marble scrap yard, you have granite slab yard, you have boat salvage, you have cast iron bathtub, okay, and you have engine scrap, you have classic car scrap yard, and you have sheet metals, and those are commonly found at the construction sites. So there are other factors that the scrap metal yard near you that quotes the highest price over the phone. Some will lure you in, then offer you a lower price, knowing that you are not going to pick up all of your heavy junk and leave. Okay, you will start to get an idea for the average price for a scrap metal nearby. So this is really, you need to do some research first. Next, you want to get prepared. This is important. Okay, the whole thing is we are trying to make money from the whole process. So get prepared. You need to wear protective construction worker safety gear. In other words, you want to wear protective construction worker safety gear while transporting scrap and metal. You never know. Safety first, please. Okay, you should wear long sleeve pants, long sleeve shirts, okay, leather gloves, steel toe boots, and protective goggles to protect yourself from rusty metal. Okay, and the thing is, you need to know the scrap yard hours near you. So you want to find scrap yard hours nearby that work with your schedule. It's all about something that is convenient to you. So if you are collecting daily from neighborhood garbage days, then you will look for one open today and every day. Surprisingly, there are many scrap metal yards open on Sunday and Saturday because they know that's when the people are at home, so people are bringing stuff to them. Okay, scrap metal buyers tend to see more sellers on weekdays that make a living scrapping. Okay, on weekends, people come to pick and pull. Weekend patrons buy things like auto parts for hobbyists when they are off from work. Okay, and if you need to think about how to actually pull your car parts and make money. Now you can borrow or rent. You can actually borrow or rent a truck. So if your vehicle does not hold all of the recycled scrap, then borrow a truck from a friend, or you just rent. You can rent a cheap truck from Home Depot or U-Haul. Okay, not a problem. And try to negotiate the best scrap metal prices. So local scrap yards will save you. They will save your personal information and details about the transaction, so you can negotiate a better rate once you establish a relationship and frequency. So ask them to pull your past seller details from your transactions, and you want to kindly ask for a better price, or to run up on their offer. So it never hurts to ask. It's always better to ask. Okay. Now, do you pay taxes on scrap metal? Well, you have to pay taxes because the money from recycling is income. Therefore, it is taxable. Okay, the metal recycling center near you usually keeps records of who sells them scrap. So if the IRS audits who buys scrap metal and they see your name, you can be the subject to penalty and interest charges. Typically, you will pay a 20% penalty on the tax due plus accrued interest charges. Okay, and so if you want to do scrap metal for a living, make sure that you create an LLC, have a legal structure for your business. Okay, accounting for the sale of scrap metal allows you to deduct related expenses. So if you are scrapping metal for a living, then deduct mileage, truck rental, work gloves and boots, insurance, accounting costs, office supplies, and any related expenses. We have actually covered this on another show, or you can just find a local tax accountant in your area who can actually help you out. Let's talk about finding buyers. You got to find buyers, boss. It's important now. How do you find buyers for scrap metals? Because you've done all that work, you need to actually monetize now. You need to actually close the deal. So once you have collected and cleaned the scrap metals, it's time to find a suitable buyer to turn the trash into profit. Okay. So here are a few ways to look for buyers of scrap metal. So you can go to a small scale local store. So small scale local stores, they actually, there's not a lot of demand from their side, but you can actually just give them a try. You know, this is, if you are persistent, they will surely agree to do business with you. If you can offer them quality scrap at an affordable price, they'll work with you. You want to find scrap vendors near you. Okay. So establishing your name in the industry as a new scrap supplier can take time. However, if you want to speed up the process, your connection with scrap vendors can help you get instant profit. Okay. Now, this method though requires a little research. You will need extensive online research and connections through friends, neighbors, and family to get a list of potential scrap vendors. Okay. And you can also sell through website online. There are a lot of online platforms. Okay. Now, if you want to avoid the extensive legwork involved in selling scrap, you can just sell your scrap metals online. And this is kind of cool. And this is what we have seen a lot of our clients do. Or you can use social media to connect to potential clients. Yeah, it's all about giving yourself exposure. The thing is that social media is no longer limited to entertainment. Okay, it's a full-fledged business platform if you use it the right way. So connecting with potential buyers on Facebook or listing sites like Craigslist is a great technique to have consistent cash flow and to have consistent flow of clients also. Okay, and you can do this in two ways. So either wait for a potential buyer to post their needs and you can reach out to them, or you post your service and available load and let people reach out to you. Okay. I mean, in our experience, the second option is more effective in landing clients. So don't wait for someone to post their needs. So once you just want to offer your service publicly, and you will double the chances of getting a lead anyway, because it's all about putting yourself out there and just wait for the wait for the clients instead of going the other way around. So be very smart and be very careful here, because the bottom line is you have done all the hard work, you have collected, you have cleaned up the scrap metals. It's time to make money. It's time to monetize. let's quickly talk about the price. Okay, so you want to know how much you should charge, right? Because I mean, again, people are contacting you. You got to have a clear idea. Now, I was telling you earlier, you need to know the value per pound, the scrap value per pound. For example, copper, okay, washer and dryer, scrap yard appliance. See, the thing is, okay, let's talk about copper. So number one, bare bright copper wire. Scrap number one, copper tubing. Scrap two, copper tubing. You got to know actually the most important, the priciest metals versus the least pricey metals. Now, if you have a question about this section, please put them below and we'll certainly answer you. I mean, we have all the data, we have done all the research. It's just that it was just a lot, so I can't really put it here. But what I want to say here is that if you want to have just an idea, a washing machine weighs about 200 pounds and is worth $15 to $25 in scrap metal. Okay, dryer weighs around 100 pounds and will get you $7 to $100 in scrap metal. So the most common metals in the appliances industry include steel, aluminum, stainless steel, copper. You have nickel, you have titanium, you have lead, brass, and zinc. Okay, and so refrigerator. If you have a refrigerator with side by side, if that weighs about 250 pounds, this will pay you $22 to $30. A refrigerator with top freezer weighs about $200, will pay you $15 to $20. You have gas, barbecue, full size, weighs about 180 pounds. This will pay you $15 to $20. You have ovens and ranges. Those actually weigh about 125 pounds and pay $10 to $18. And you have a cast iron bed top, weighs about 300 pounds and will pay $30 to $40. Okay, so I'm just giving you an idea of the price we're talking about, and you have to really be clear about what will work for you, and what not to sell to a scrap yard. Well, you have freon, you have appliances with food, you have gas tanks, you have particle board, you have specialty yards. So for instance, some will not take old tires, wood, fiberglass, or Christmas lights. So if you want to deal with a yard, do not go to a specialty yard. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to find scrap yards near you, and we talk about knowing the value of scrap, finding what to buy, sorting scrap metal, sorting locally, getting prepared, and finding buyers. Thank you so much. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.